London. I'm Matt Brown, and you're listening to the Matt Brown Podcast. It's a show about all things local and maybe some other stuff too. We've got another great episode for you. Shannon LaHay, the CEO of the Humane Society for London and Middlesex, is going to join us. And some of the things she's going to share might come as a big surprise. I'll tell you all about it right after this.
Discover London Bicycle Cafe. It's the perfect time of year to take a break on their spacious patio, featuring craft beer, espresso drinks, snacks, meals, and more. London Bicycle Cafe at the Forks of the Thames. See you soon.
And we're back. What you're going to be listening to today is an abridged version of the latest Newsmakers episode. That's the show that I host over on Rogers TV. In this episode, we're taking a close look at the Humane Society of London and Middlesex. This is an organization that has a long history and one that's experienced a lot of positive change over the past little while. You're likely familiar with the name and with the brand of this not-for-profit, but you might be surprised to learn about all of the programs and services that they offer, as well as their plans for the future. And here to tell us all about it is Shannon LaHay. So let's go. Shannon, welcome to Newsmakers.
Thanks, Matt.
For starters, what can you tell us about the Humane Society of London and Middlesex? What's going on over there these days?
We've got a lot going on. We've just recently moved into a new building, part of what we're here to talk about, but we have a really long history here in the city, supporting our community and supporting the animals in our community for well over 100 years.
Well over 100 years, that's true. And things have probably changed quite a bit over the course of that time.
They have. I can tell you the way we care for animals, the number of animals that require care has increased substantially. So when we talk about our old facility, that's one of the big changes we've gone through is we simply outgrew that based on the need in the community and how we're taking care of the animals.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the old facility. Some folks watching at home might think that Humane Society is still operating over on Clark Road near Oxford Street. You've moved from there, and we'll talk about the new building. It's a beautiful building in a few minutes. I had an opportunity to tour through the old site a few years ago. My goodness, the base of it was a farmhouse. The hallways were really narrow. There were issues with the lighting, even issues with things like the echo in the room and having enough space to handle all of the animals. That must have been a real challenge. I had a feeling, even at that time, several years ago, that the facility was either at or even above capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, it started out as a farmhouse in 1899. And over the 125 years that we were in that building, there were additions added to allow for more space and more capacity, but it did just become sort of adding on and cages on top of cages as our capacity increased. We were well over capacity and certainly over the desired level that we would want to be at to provide the right level of care for the animals that were coming to us. What I do have to say is in that time that our team was working in that building, it was, it was a little dark, it was tight halls, not an ideal setting, but they worked incredibly hard to support the animals and to give them the absolute best standard of care that they could in that space until we didn't have to anymore and we were able to move to the new building.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you have to do. You function in the environment that you find yourselves in, and I'm sure that your board had a vision, and the new facility is absolutely stunning. It must have required tens of millions of dollars in fundraising. How did the organization go about doing that?
Yeah, so we ran a capital campaign in the community, reached out to obviously our loyal supporters who were already supporting our organization, local businesses, and we were able to raise just over $20 million to build the new facility. The City of London helped out as well with a grant for $3 million because they really do recognize the impact that we have on our entire community and the purpose we serve there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And in terms of operating the new facility, how do you fund those operations? You mentioned earlier that this is a not-for-profit organization. There's no mission delivered without a healthy margin, and so you must be pretty involved in fundraising activities for your operating budget as well?
We are, yeah. So we have the building and it's beautiful, but we need to continue to operate it, and we need to be able to pay our staff to be able to come in and care for the animals. So as we increase the number of animals into the building, we have to increase the number of staff. So yes, the majority of our operating comes from, again, community members, businesses who support us and allow us to meet that mission of making a difference.
And I'm going to bet that right on your website, somewhere on that website, there's a button where if folks are listening to this at home, they can click on that and give a one-time gift.
Yeah, absolutely. We have what we call our PAW members. So they
Sorry,
are
PAW?
PAW, P-A-W. It's a pre-authorized withdrawal.
Of course.
So
I like it.
It works out well. But yeah, so our PAW members are our monthly donors, and they're an incredibly loyal group of people, and it allows us to be able to plan ahead, knowing that those regular donations are coming in. But people can absolutely go to our website and make a one-time donation. And again, we work really hard connecting with businesses and local organizations to make sure that those funds continue to come.
Sure. And I think you're working with the province, smaller revenue streams to support the operations as well.
We are, yeah. So we now have a vet clinic, right in-house, which allows us to do a little bit of fee for service with the province provincial animal welfare service. And so as they attend animal welfare calls and have to bring animals in, we're able to board them for them or perform medical procedures that need to be done. So that is a bit of a revenue stream for us that then allows us to really build up the shelter and support our shelter animals.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the clinic, because when you toured me through the facility just a little while ago, I noticed that a lot of time and a lot of energy went into designing that clinic. And I think I also noticed that it had been twinned and that there were two operating rooms, if that's what you might call them, and that one was working in operation right now, but there was a second one sort of that is at the ready, probably for when the growth is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now our clinic is only open to support our shelter animals, or the animals that we're receiving through animal welfare services. We have a wonderful, absolutely amazing vet on staff. She's with us part-time to support our shelter animals, or the animals that we're receiving through animal welfare services. We have a wonderful, absolutely amazing vet on staff. She's with us part-time, and so we're able to do surgeries a couple of days a week, but with only one vet on staff, only one operating room is being used. The goal, of course, is to be able to open up to certain members of the community, to different groups, different partners, to offer low-cost services that aren't readily available to a lot of people.
It's incredible. It's also very entrepreneurial, I think, and provides some important services to Londoners. Let's talk about that in a second, but you touched on a veterinarian that you have that's part-time right now and that does surgeries at the clinic. When I toured the old facility over on Clark Road, I don't think I saw a clinic.
No, you definitely did not see a clinic. The impact of us having the clinic is incredible. I mean, that was a big piece of the capital campaign and adding to the building and to the facility. Having the clinic in our building actually allows us to support and move animals through a lot faster. In the past, we would have to call a partner clinic, which, I mean, we had some amazing partners as vets, and we do still reach out to them for certain things. But in the past, we'd be calling around looking for an appointment for an animal that had been surrendered to us. And so we might have to wait 6 weeks for that appointment and drive as far as Sarnia to a vet who could see the animal.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Yeah, no, it was, we had to do a lot of reaching out, and so we'd have an animal sitting in clinic or in the shelter for 6 weeks just waiting for a procedure, then some time to heal before they're able to be adopted out.
Right.
Now we can have an animal come in, have a surgery or a procedure. Within days, they've had some healing time and we can adopt them out. So shortening that time frame where they're in shelter obviously is way better for the animal and allows us to serve more of the community.
We were talking about the clinic and how it's twinned and how there are probably some really great opportunities looking forward to the future. Can you expand on those?
Yeah, absolutely. So our goal, as I said, is not only to serve the animals in clinic or in shelter, to be able to expand that to the community. What we know is that vet bills can be very challenging for some people, and having to pay an unexpected vet bill might be the difference between somebody being able to keep their pet and surrendering them to the facility. It's really important for us to do everything we can to try to keep pets with their humans.
So it really, just to put this in terms of like tangible dollars and cents, I was working with a young person this week. They adopted a cat, not through the Humane Society, and the cat experienced an injury. It's just a kitten. And he told me that it was $900 of veterinarian services, including 2 x-rays that were a couple of $100 each, maybe $250 each, to just rule out the possibility of a fracture. And anybody worried at home, the kitten is okay. There were no breaks, but his bank account really suffered. And this is a person that really doesn't have that kind of backup plan for an emergency. So is that the kind of person that down the road might be able to come to the Humane Society and receive that kind of assistance?
That's exactly what we're hoping for. And like I said, it's a long-term plan, so we haven't sort of put every step in place.
So don't bring your injured
not
cats
yet.
tomorrow.
Yes, I have to be very clear. We are not in a position to be able to do that now. Fortunately, we are quite up to date with our animals in shelter, which is nice. So we don't have that backlog, but we're at capacity for what we can do with our animals in shelter. But eventually, that is exactly the goal. That for different groups within the city or within our area, that we can work with them to figure out how we can help with those types of emergency situations. Because we also know people will often put their animals' health before their own.
Ahead of their own. Right.
Absolutely, right? And so now you've got somebody who perhaps doesn't have the funds that they might have needed for themselves.
Right.
You know.
For things like rent, for things like groceries. And I know that that's coming from a caring place, but it's also having a negative consequence for the individual as well. And so you're not just taking care of animals over at the Humane Society, you're taking care of their people too.
Human wellness is inextricably connected to animal welfare. Those things go together, and so in order to do the best we can by the animals, we are also taking care of the humans.
Right. It goes without saying. Maybe we don't think that at first glance. So when we were talking, you really surprised me with a concept.
It's a reasonably recently labeled theory or framework, but I don't think it's all that new. I think we're just talking about it more and in a different way. So it really is, it's human well-being, animal welfare, and care for the environment, and how those 3 things, we take care of all 3 of them together because they are so interconnected. And so when we talk about things like domestic violence, for instance, people often won't leave a situation that they're in because they can't leave their pet behind, or they don't want to leave their pet behind.
Oh my gosh, I never thought about that.
Right. So,
but it makes perfect sense, and it's so sad.
Yeah, and I get that a lot of people don't understand those choices. We all make different choices, but we know that those are choices that people make, and so we want to find a way to be able to support the animal while that person gets settled in a safe environment and reunite them. Or homelessness, for instance, right? If we can advocate for animal-friendly spaces, either for living or for shelter. Again, to keep the humans and the pets together, because in a homelessness situation, the pet might actually be that person's lifeline, sense of security, and they simply won't leave them behind. And so we can't think of those as separate things.
What you're really talking about is there's lots of not-for-profits out there doing really important work. And we all know that when we share resources and when we work together towards multiple missions, then good things happen, and good things happen in a more efficient way. And so dollars go further, more people are helped, more people are housed, and more animals are cared for. Yeah. That's really incredible. Yeah. The space, when we toured through it, it's felt enormous to me. I described the previous space as kind of dark, no clinic, as you pointed out. If I could paint a picture of where you are today, it's the opposite. There is so much light everywhere you go, all kinds of windows and high ceilings, and then also the space that's set aside for the animals. Really well thought out. Can we talk a bit about that? Maybe the whole facility design, because it really feels like it was designed on purpose.
Without a doubt, it was. The amount of thought that went into it. Actual scientific research around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the color of the dog kennels that the dogs are in.
Light blue?
So yeah, it's a little bit of a
sort of
light
a bright
blue.
light blue,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's scientifically proven to be the most calming color within the dog's visual spectrum of colors.
Okay,
So that's it was
fascinating.
really detailed things, like you said about all of the light. Certainly in the public spaces, you can see that there's great big skylights in our main lobby, but there are skylights in all of the rooms that have animals in them.
Natural
light for all
everywhere.
of them, even when they're in their kennels. We have a huge fenced play yard now, which we just simply didn't have.
No, that's right. Right out back.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know the size of it, but it's very large.
Yeah,
it looks like if you're a big dog and you need to go for a run, that's not going to be a problem.
No, lots of room to run. Our staff have put in some equipment, agility equipment for them to run on and play in, and we just recently put in a sandbox, so there's a lot of digging going on out there. But yeah, so the yard is a huge benefit as well. And then within the rest of the building, we've got a great big education center now.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, we're fortunate to be partnered with Fanshawe College right now. They're registered vet technician and registered vet assistant programs for their students. They're working right in our facility. So
that's excellent.
they've
Right
got
on site.
Right on site. So they've got classroom space, but they've also got access to hands-on time with the animals. So they get to observe things in the clinic with our vet and our RVTs, and then time in the yard with the dogs. So that's a wonderful partnership for us. And when they're not using that great big space, we are opening it up and renting it out to community organizations or groups. So again, just trying to get people in the building and to see what we're doing, and just really create a community space. We want people coming in, not just to see the animals, but just to be a part of our community.
Great. It's not just about fundraising, it's about friend raising as well. That partnership with Fanshawe College is really excellent. That's really, you talk about a strategic partnership and a win-win. Those students, I'm sure, are gaining much more hands-on, real-life experience working as they learn at the Humane Society. And who knows, it could mean a future employee, it could mean a future volunteer dog walker. The possibilities are kind of endless when you form these strategic partnerships and develop relationships with organizations that you share a synergy with. Yeah. So bravo to that. Let's talk about this rental space. I was in it. It has a bit of a large boardroom or large classroom kind of feel to it. Lots of windows, lots of light, AV equipment, all the things that you might need if, let's say, you're another not-for-profit or you're an organization that happens to be a for-profit organization that's looking to do a retreat. Mm-hmm. This site would probably be ideal for that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's some of what's been happening in there. And so we've had a few groups in there, and staff meetings. We recently had a community group who did their AGM in our space there. So it's a lovely space, and if you're there during our public hours, you get to go see some of the animals as well. So
that'd be a really neat retreat, right? I know that companies are looking for ideas that are a little bit new or a little bit unique. This fits both of those categories, and they could come in and probably spend some time with the animals and spend some time working together as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have had some corporate volunteer experiences where they come in and they volunteer their time as an organization, and they help make enrichment items for our animals, or spend some time with them in the yard. We've been able to do that. We recently had some puppies, so they got to play with the puppies. So there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with a lot of different team building exercises, but this one would be a first for, I think, everybody for sure. And so if folks at home are listening and watching and thinking this is something that I'd like to get involved in, how can they get in touch?
Yeah, so like I said, come into our building. We're at 1414 Dundas Street. Our open hours for the public are Monday to Friday, 1 to 6. On the weekends, we're open 1 to 4. But they can also check out our website. It's obviously always the easiest, hslm.ca.
I want to compliment you and your organization on just being so open. I think that's fantastic. Post-COVID, I think a lot of us got used to let's meet on Zoom and let's not meet in person. But what you're really saying is the opposite of that.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a big part of it is our doors are open and we really do want people to come in to our space. We have a little cafe that they're welcome to come in and enjoy. We have a merchandise store as well, and I have to say our team just did a great job on new merchandise. Super cute.
Yeah. We're going to have to leave it there, but I think you left it on a high. So again, Shannon, thanks for taking the time to come and tell us about the Humane Society and all the work that you're doing and what we can look forward to ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll be back with more right after this.
Discover London Bicycle Cafe, home of family cargo and urban cycling. Test ride an e-bike along riverside trails to see how easy moving through our city can really be. London Bicycle Cafe at the Forks of the Thames. See you soon.
And that's the show for today. I'm going to bet that you learned something new, something that you didn't know about 30 or so minutes ago. Thanks again to Shannon LaHay for joining us and for helping us to see the big picture too. Human wellness being inextricably connected to animal welfare was a new concept for me. And the work that the Humane Society can do to support individuals experiencing poverty and homelessness, not to mention how they can support women and children experiencing violence in their homes and needing to escape, it's just remarkable. Please remember, this show is for you. In fact, I couldn't do it without you. So take some time. Visit the website. It's themattbrownpodcast.com. You can listen to a past episode, and you can even send me a note. Maybe you have a question or comment about a past episode. Maybe you have an idea for a future one. Send it in. I'll take a look. The momentum continues to build. If you haven't already, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and please share this link with your family and friends too. So, that's the show. Thanks for listening, and talk to you again soon, London.